can't be doing that to them girls.
If you're a business owner looking to connect with tens of thousands of potential new local customers, you owe it to yourself to get enrolled in our Key Tag Rewards program. Since 2019, we've signed up more than 200 local merchants. Sponsor opportunities are available too, such as our group banner ad and even your own custom key tags. Just go to stpetekeytag.com, get enrolled, and get ready to get busy. stpetekeytag.com.
Under pressure, makes one guy miss. Now he cocks the arm and throws the deep ball downfield, and it is knocked away, almost picked on. Fourth down, a desperation heave by Heinecke. And for the first time since our Super Bowl run in 2002, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers will win a postseason game. It had been 13 years since we played in the postseason. It had been 18 years since we won a playoff game. 31-23 is your final.
I wanted to play you. I got you.
Bucs go to work now. Second down and goal. Hand the ball off, and Fournette is stutter step. Touchdown, Tampa Bay. From the Washington 47, Brady dropping, throwing, caught ball. Chris Godwin, touchdown, Tampa Bay. Perfect throw from Brady, and Godwin beat the defender. Third down, 3. They need to reach the Washington 33. Dropping deep, Brady throws the ball to the right side. Open, Antonio Brown, 3-2-1. Touchdown, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Brady finds AP at the 5, and Antonio Brown takes it in to the paint of the end zone.
Finish, don't work, we not together, man. We're not working, we not together. Come on, man, he's running that. Contain him, quarterback, he's got one job. Contain the quarterback. Let's go, man. Let's
go. Washington dropping to throw pressure. Ball tipped to the line. Oh, it's picked off. Intercepted to the 42-yard line by Sean Murphy Bunting.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another edition of your pregame show, getting you ready for Tampa Bay Buccaneer football as you have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers taking on the Washington football team after the bye week. I'm your host, Peter Blake, along with the great Blake Anthony of Sports Talk 49 here as the Washington football team comes in desperately for a win here. Blake Anthony, 2-6. Losers of 4 in a row, and has gone downhill for this team. But, of course, it is back to the scene of the crime, the wild card game between Washington and, of course, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, where the Buccaneers, to a certain degree, survived their best effort, 31-23. We'll get you ready for, we got Harry the Greek, professional handicapper extraordinaire from 1252 Sports. Once again, I'm your host, Peter Blake, along with Blake Anthony. How you feeling today, buddy? Off that bye week, you feeling good?
Yeah, we needed a bye week, got the rest of the legs and the voice a little bit, but now we're back at it just like the Bucs. They're getting some guys off IR this week, picked up a few familiar faces of old. It's going to get things rolling this game, so we got a lot to talk about, Peter.
We definitely got a lot to talk about as the Bucs, of course, are coming off a disappointing loss to the New Orleans Saints, but everything that could happen in the Bucs' favor went their way, if you will. The Saints lose to the Falcons last week. The Cowboys lose to the Broncos. The Rams lose to the Titans without Derrick Henry. Of course, they pick up OBJ. We'll get into that a little bit. And then, of course, we'll take your phone calls, as always, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. And yes, we are live. Let me go ahead and fire those cannons right there. There we go. So, again, going back to it, of course, the turnover story was relevant, if you will, for this Bucs team and Tom Brady. And even he talked about where they stand. Let's go out to him really quick. We'll go out to the phone calls and then go out to Harry. Stand by. Here's Tom Brady on where the Tampa Bay Buccaneers stand here at 6-2 live on NSPN and I Love St. Pete. Enjoy.
I think we got obviously a lot of football ahead of us, and we're going to have to work at it every day to be the best we could be. So there's nothing guaranteed in the league here. There's no easy games. There's nothing that's you can't roll your helmet out there and think you're going to win. So got to come out here, put the work in every day, grind through these days that very important weeks. These Wednesdays, Thursdays, Fridays where we got to improve on a lot of different things that we're working on. So. Everything's ahead of us.
You guys better? You feel better right now than you were at this point a year ago?
Every year is a little bit different. So, we got to go play great football. So the times where we've lost and some close games, it's been way less than our best. And certainly know that we have high expectations because we have a lot of good football players. And we got to go out there and get the job done.
And that's what it comes down to, Blake Anthony, after the disappointing loss to the Saints 36-27. Of course, Brady being responsible for 2 interceptions. The one at the end of the game was a killer, the fumble. But at the end of the day, still 375, 4 touchdowns. Brady on an MVP type of pace here, 25 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. And you have to like his chances versus a supposed Washington football team vaunted defense that has really regressed this year. Can't figure it out. But that secondary, one of the lowest in the NFL, 27th overall defense. They're going to have an opportunity today. That would be the Buccaneers to really take advantage of this.
Definitely, you want to take advantages of wherever you can get it from. Of course, the strength of Washington is their front four, which has always been Ron Rivera's, stint when he's coaching. I knew he would go out and get a middle linebacker. That's what he did this draft, but he's got to fix up the secondary. I said Washington was about 2 years off of being where they need to be because they got to get that quarterback situation straight after the bust pick of Dwayne Haskins. We all know how that played out.
Right.
But now you got Tyler Heinecke. You had a promising guy that you may want to take a chance at to see if he can be your guy. But I still expect them to get a quarterback later on. But they will take advantage of the Bucs secondary, and Washington will take advantage of the Bucs. The Bucs will take advantage of Washington's secondary,
right?
And Washington will take advantage of the Bucs.
You hope
secondary.
so. That's what you hope for
yeah.
at this point. You don't want the Washington football team to take advantage of the secondary. But going back to it, Taylor Heinecke in the first game.
Talent.
He's got talent. 11 touchdowns, 9 interceptions, throws some passes, ill-advised throws, so maybe the Bucs defense in that back end, which once again is still banged up, but getting back S&B this week. But going back to it, the wild card game, he threw for over 300 yards, and not only was he good with his arm, but he was also good with his legs. So another tough test here. Of course, this team had plans for Ryan Fitzpatrick. That has kind of gone downhill after the hip injury.
Oh, absolutely. I think what could go wrong has gone wrong for the Washington football team as far as the quarterbacking position goes. So I don't think the team's really tripping on anything like that. As far as I know, they didn't really expect a whole lot out of this team, maybe get 8 wins.
Sure.
Now you add all these injuries. Now you're just trying to figure out who's going to stay, who's going to go years on and stuff like that. But they're going to come out and be competitive. Ron Rivera really likes Tyler Heinecke.
Yes, Heinecke.
They really
Heinecke.
Yeah, whatever. And then, you got Antonio Gibson. And the other young running back just slipped my mind here again.
J.D. McKissick.
Yes. Yeah, you got some options there on offense. Then you go and get your wide receiver from the Panthers, Samuels, and then he's
not going to play in this game.
Yeah.
Again, it's been an injury situation. The injury bug has not only bit the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but also
everybody.
The Washington football team, namely at the quarterback situation. We talked about Fitzpatrick, but also Samuel from the Carolina Panthers. Let's go out to the comments here, read them, and then we'll get out to Harry the Greek, the professional handicapper extraordinaire from 1252 Sports Shared. Thank you, Sador. Appreciate you. Great job this morning here live on NSPN. Go TV 12. Braden says, what's up? Christopher Cole, hey, guys, let's go. Misador, let's go. And Jeremiah says, hello to all. Let's go ahead and say hello to this guy right here. Let's go ahead get them some walk-up music.
Greek.
Here we
Where's
go.
the Greek?
All right, 1252 Sports out of Chicago. Mr. Harry.
Oh, wow. You should see Blake's face like, what the hell was that?
The man
Hey,
is Greek,
this is-
not British.
Will you
I know, man.
shut up and be quiet. You don't even know what's going on. Go back.
That is
and
the
go to sleep.
oldest fight song in the National Football League, and that lovely woman that's walking behind me is my mother, actually throwing something in there at 77 years old. I mean 87.
Wow.
But that's no
Wow.
big
Is
deal.
she giving you her picks too today? by
No,
the way?
no, that's
it
the Greek's mother, actually.
Well, hi, Greek's mom. How you doing?
Hi, Ma. How are you? Oh, she's waving.
NSPN. How you doing? Oh, she's sweet, man. She's sweet.
Thanks, man. Thanks. No, I appreciate you guys having me on tonight, man. What a week it's been, bro. What a week it's been. Exciting.
How did you do last week?
Last week, I got to tell you what. I came out of the garden smelling like the rose. The gambling gods bestowed upon me a 9-2 record last week, guys. 9-2 against the spread. And I'll tell you what.
9-2.
There were some serious
Hello?
upsets last week. I had Denver on the money line versus the Dallas Cowboys.
Right.
I also had Miami. I mean, there was just man, I'm telling you what, it was just a really, really, really good week.
Well,
Boy, I got a lot of traffic just walking around me. I really apologize, guys.
And that's okay. No problem. Somebody actually wants to talk to you here.
Who wants to talk to me?
NSPN. John, welcome to NSPN's pregame show, getting you ready for Tampa Bay versus the Washington football team. You're on with yours truly, Blake Anthony at Sports Talk 49, and of course, Harry the Greek. What do you have to say?
What's going on, guys? This is Yaj.
Oh, what's going on, Yaj? How you doing, buddy? Let me go ahead and fire the cannons for that.
Yes, sir. I'm here sitting at the game right now. Brady just came out. It's going to be a good game. It's cold, but hey, we're going to pull this W out.
What are the temperatures like there, Yaj? And, of course, this is one of the longtime webheads of the sports web here. I can't pronounce your last name, but, Yaj, we always say bring your passion, bring your excitement, just don't bring any nonsense.
Or veggies.
Yes,
Or
sir.
veggies, absolutely, exactly. How are the temperatures there? Is it cold? Is it brutally cold? Is it unseasonably cold there? What's going on, my friend?
So right now, it's seasonal cold right now. We're at like 43 degrees.
Ouch.
It's warming up, so it is great weather right now.
Great.
There's more Bucs fans than WTF fans I see right now.
Nice, very nice. What do you think the biggest key to this game is, Yaj? And do you have a question for Harry the Greek, our professional handicapper?
Just got to run the ball. That's all I see right now. Lenny right now is running his route, so he's looking good. So we just got to make sure we do good on the run game. And also, Peon is looking good. I'm sorry, Bradley Peon is looking real great right now. Placement of the ball. That's all we need to do.
All right, Yaj, good stuff. You got to give me not only your walk-up music, because everybody now everybody on this show and on the sports web gets their own walk-up music. So text me some walk-up music. We'll work on that. And we'll see you on the post-game edition. Give me a prediction really quick.
Right now, I'm looking at 24-17.
24-17. All right, there you go, 24-17. Let me go ahead and fire those cannons right there. Appreciate you, Yaj. We'll see you on the post-game edition, all right?
All right, have a good one.
All right, my friend, there you go. We're getting just loaded up with calls here. They got questions for Harry the Greek. So how did you do last week, my friend?
9-2.
9-2, man, and I had some deep picks in there. I'm telling you, some seriously deep picks. Not only did I take some long shots, not even with the points, I took them on the money line, and those were some of the games that I was given. Because I tell you what, the prior 2 weeks, I wasn't proud of myself. I mean, I kind of felt bad. I mean, I really did. It was that bad. It was like I never watched the tape. But you know what? I can't be great every single week. I'll tell you what. It's been a phenomenal year and a half for me. It really has. And I know a lot of people are making money with the picks. Thank you for asking. I appreciate that.
No, absolutely. How do you see this game working out when it comes to the Bucs versus this Washington football team? Of course, back to the scene of the crime, wild card game last year, 31-23. Brady had somewhat of a good game. Heinecke had a good game. Leonard Fournette, which I think is a big key in this game, 19 carries for 93 yards. How do you see this game playing out with a Washington football team, by all regards, has really regressed defensively, right?
Yeah, you know what? You can say that about the Buccaneers a little bit as well. But let's talk about this because you asked the question because you were comparing it from last year.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, that was last year. Okay? Let's throw last year's game out of the window because if you really want to analyze it, they were one play away from beating the Buccaneers, and then the rest would have been history. There wouldn't have been a Super Bowl champion. Blake, you understand exactly what I'm talking about. But shoulda, coulda, woulda. Let me tell you something. Almost only counts in horseshoes, hand grenades, and excuse my expression, shit fights. But let me explain to you what I see in this game. First off, Montez Sweat's not in. Yeah, go ahead, Peter.
I'll tell you what. Stand by here. I know you want to get that thought. Let's go out to the phone lines. Phone lines are packed up. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Welcome to NSPN's pre-show, getting you ready for Tampa Bay versus Washington.
This is Tyra, the bartender.
Hi, Tyra. How you doing?
Go Falcons.
Good. How are you?
Oh, we
Go
got
Falcons.
Falcons fan right there. This is what I have to say to the Falcons fan.
Hi, Tyra. Are you single? I need to know this, Tyra. Are you single?
I am not.
Well,
unfortunately.
it's a shame too because that man that's talking to you right now is a super great guy and he's available. You got to have a friend to hook him up, Tyra.
Oh my God!
I will help you out.
I appreciate you, Tyra.
And you know what? And now Blake needs a little love too. You know, I mean, I'm just saying.
I think Blake's got plenty of love over there.
Okay, baller.
Blake is already with somebody. Are you not?
Yeah.
No, there you go. See,
yeah, kinda.
Yeah.
I'm kidding, Blake. I'm kidding.
Really quick, Tyra, I know you're a big-time Falcon fan here. What did you think of that big win over the Saints last week? The Bucs can't beat the Saints, but the Falcons can. Explain that to me.
We're just, one of those teams. We keep you guessing. We're either going to win the game or we're going to blow it. You never know. It's like trivia.
Yeah, and I definitely think Matt Ryan has shown up this year. I thought he was on a decline. Really quick, you're the great bartender here live at Ducky's. Tell everybody why they should get out here for this pre-half and post-game edition live on NSPN. Tell us about the food, the specials, what's going on here at Ducky's Sports Lounge.
First of all, where else would you want to watch football? We have over 50 TVs and a big screen. We got awesome food, awesome staff, and we have, some great talk show hosts over there, I guess,
Well, yeah.
Well, yeah. I'll let it rock.
We'll have to get you on the camera sometime instead of behind that bar when you get a little bit on busy. We'll get you live here on NSPN. Appreciate the call. Appreciate you.
I hope she won some money on that last week's game because I gave everybody the Atlanta Falcons against New Orleans without the points that they were going to win. And actually, they were 3-1 on your money. The Atlanta Falcons were a cinch last week. Peter, you see me talk about it on 1252 Sports. Yeah. I touted the Atlanta Falcons. I told everybody that New Orleans stinks. Their defense is still playing. And you know what? They got lucky against the Buccaneers on that one game. I'm going to let you finish up with her. It's really nice talking to you, and I can't wait to come out and enjoy the venue.
We'll get you on camera probably at halftime, all right?
I appreciate you guys.
Appreciate you.
We appreciate you.
I mean, that's how good the show is, right? The bartender in the place calls in because she wants
all the way from Atlanta, Pete.
Will you shut up and be quiet? She's not calling from Atlanta. All right, Terry. Let me go on to this comment here from Christopher Cole. How many times has Brady wore a backwards hat?
Thug Brady.
Not a lot. I mean, look, again, the matchup comes back to this. Montez Sweat is out of this game. The defense has regressed. Although the Bucs are going to be once again without Gronk and Antonio Brown.
That's a difference maker.
They signed Brashard Perryman this week. What's the impact of this offense against this Washington football team, Harry?
Well, that's what I was going to talk about. Montez Sweat is not in the game. Okay, that's going to hurt him a little bit. However, is it really going to hurt them? Washington knows that they're going to have to get it right this week on defense. They are not as bad as what you're seeing. And I am predicting that the Washington football team, you're proud of me, Blake, I didn't go with the R word. But anyway, the Washington football team are going to get it right on defense today. It's not going to be good enough to beat the Buccaneers. But I do have Washington covering the 10 points. And by game time, I'm predicting 10.5 points Washington is getting. And I'm going to explain to you why. Because of a quarterback that's named after a little beer. I call him the Heineken. But it's Heinecke. Heinecke is going to put up some points on this defense. They're going to expose the secondary, even though they have Richard Sherman coming back and Sean Murphy-Bunting. The front seven is going to have a difficult time getting to Tyler Heinecke in this game. The running game's not going to be significant for them. Expect a little bit of a high-scoring game on both ends of the ball. But Tampa comes out victorious. Washington covers, though, especially the first half.
So you think it's a closer game than a lot of people predict here? You don't see a blowout with the Bucs coming off a bye? Okay.
No, I don't see a blowout, especially in the first half. The first half, I think Washington's going to give them fits. That's just my opinion, and that's been Tampa's been very pedestrian in the first half of football games, especially when they're on the road. Need I remind you of Atlanta? Need I remind you of the Giants last year? I can keep going on and on and on, and this is no different. It really isn't any different. Plus, Tampa, they're pissed. They're coming back this week. Don't be surprised that Brady. Don't be surprised that Tampa does something a little bit different, Blake. You know what that is? Run the football.
Oh, yeah, run that ball.
We ain't been doing that. And again, it goes back to the scene of the crime. We're on with Harry the Greek, professional handicapper, 1252 Sports here, longtime buddy. Fournette, 19 for 93. He had over 100 yards from scrimmage in that game with some catches, and he has really stepped up his game this year. Crushing block to free up that big, long play. 50 yards to Sorrell Grayson. So he's key to this running game. Of course, you want to see the victim of volume in a Ronald Jones, but at the end of the day, he has been a man on the milk carton. And once again, this week they signed Brashard Perryman and, of course, Darren Fells.
The victim of volume.
The victim of reception.
Well, the victim of
how about the victim period? I'll go with that one.
Yes. But again, Fournette is a big time key to this offense, and at the end of the day, Chris Godwin could be a game time decision. So
he said he's playing.
Yeah, he's playing. What about Sean Murphy-Bunting? Do we have anything on him?
I haven't heard anything confirmation wise, but Godwin is in.
What about an Antonio Gibson? We talk about this Buccaneer defense, second in the NFL, not first. The last 4 games, they've been disappointing. They haven't been able to really shut down running backs. They've gone over 100 yards. Is that a concern for you? Do you think Gibson can get 100 yards? And is that a big-time key for you for this Washington football team to win this game if Gibson does get over 100 yards?
That's a great question. I don't see Gibson getting over 100 yards in this game. I'm going to be honest with you. I have them getting one big play in Tampa's secondary, and I think they're going to make it count. But ultimately, they're going to try to run the football in, from the 5 and 10 yard line in. I mean, let me tell you something. Tampa's still arguably, even with a banged up secondary, arguably one of the best defenses in the National Football League. They're going to give a ton of yards up from the 20 to 20. They have that old Rams mentality from the 70s and the 80s of bend, but don't break. But when they get to that 20s and that field gets shorter, you're not going to want to pass the ball because that's what would be Washington's mistake in this game.
All right, let's go out to our phone lines here. Let's get this guy's walk-up music on. Stand by. Yep. All right, let's go out to Ed from Palm Harbor. Ed, welcome to NSPN's pregame show live from Ducky's, getting you ready for Bucs versus Washington. You're on with yours truly, Blake Anthony at Sports Talk 49, and Harry the Greek, my professional handicapper. Go ahead.
Hey, what's up, Pete, Blake, and Harry? How's it going, guys?
What's going on, sir?
What's up, brother?
What's up?
I think the Bucs are gonna have a good game. They play well going off bye week, especially Brady. I think he's undefeated off bye weeks.
Right.
And I agree with the Perryman move, but when are they going to pick up some more corners? Because they apparently need some depth there. So
Sean Murphy-Bunting came back and practiced this week. You had Scotty Miller, who was practicing. Was Murphy-Bunting practicing this week?
Yes.
He came off the IR, so
we're
not sure. And again, to answer Douglas O'Connor's question, Bunting and Miller are out. Neither were activated off of the IR. So have we got confirmation that they're going to play in this game or not?
No, there hasn't been no confirmation.
No confirmation? Okay. All right. Well, there you go. They're going to get –
was playing, but that I don't know.
Look, you can't go pick up – the trading deadline is passed. I get what you're saying. But at the end of the day, you've got to get healthy, and that's what it comes down to. Sean Murphy-Bunting has got to get healthy.
That's why you don't pick up another corner, because you got him coming off.
Correct. You got Carlton Davis coming back. So, once again, I feel like even though –
lost you there.
Are you there?
I can hear him.
I can hear him just fine. Go ahead.
All of a sudden, you guys went dead.
Oh.
Okay, are you there?
We're alive.
Yeah, I hear you now.
Okay, all right. So, you got to wait to get these guys back. In essence, though, you're going to get back Richard Sherman today, so you're going to be better off. I know you're not the biggest fan of Sherman, and maybe he hasn't seen his.
I'm just not sold on him yet. That's all.
Well, I mean,
he's a fill-in guy.
He's a fill-in guy that hasn't really know this defense yet. So let's give it a chance here.
Hey, can I comment on that real quick?
Sure, go for it.
Because I was just talking about it this morning on the NFL show for 1252 Sports with Jacob Charnow.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, but he's washed up when they're talking about Sherman. Listen, he's a shell of what he was a couple of years ago. But you want to know where Tampa's really going to benefit from is just his leadership. Forget the locker room. That's all hogwash and bullcrap. It's being on the field. He's the captain of that secondary going, hey, get up a little closer. Hey, drop a little further back. Hey, you. He is directing traffic back there. Trust me, his mind is still faster than his legs, and he knows that. But at least he's going to get people lined up. That's why he's had an impact before he got hurt. Remember, he had an impact this first 2 weeks that he played. I'm not a Sherman supporter. I'm not a Richard Sherman supporter. But man, what a genius move to get this guy in your secondary, especially when 2/3 of the people that are playing secondary for this team were bagging groceries last year. Okay, guys? Seriously.
Yeah.
They've really done a good job with actually filling in the holes. And what they did against the Chicago Bears was absolutely unbelievable with a destroyed secondary. They confused Fields and the receivers so bad with people that won't even be on an NFL roster next year. Let's be honest.
Yeah, and that's according to hold on a minute, Ed. That's according to Greg Allman of The Athletic. Richard Sherman, D. Delaney are both active, will play today. Neither played, of course, in the Saints game. Here's your depth. Dean, Sherman, Delaney, Cockrell, Desir are all available at this point. Once again, it looks like Sean Murphy-Bunting is not going to be in this game, nor will Scotty Miller. But, the Bucs feel good about their offense. We know that. And, again, that's the reason why you pick up a Brashard Perryman in the first place. If Miller and Brown are out of this game, you have somebody that is at least familiar with this offensive scheme.
Yeah, he's familiar with the system.
Yes. All right. So what else?
The only problem is he doesn't have much of a rapport with Brady, so that'll take.
Well, I mean, again, that's going to take some. It may take some
run
time.
Straight,
but Brady's pretty good with that. So
tell him to run straight.
I'll let him have that. I think he'll be able to figure that chemistry situation out. So what else, Ed?
I think the Bucs are going to win by 10 points. What's the spread on the Bucs?
What's the spread there? 10? Okay. So
it's 10 and a half. It's going to keep climbing.
All right. So
I think it's going to be 31-10.
31
that's in arithmetic. That's 21 points there.
Well, that's more right. That's more than
31-20.
Oh, 31.
31-20.
All right, 31-20.
All
11
right. points. So they cover.
All right. Appreciate you, buddy. Let me go ahead and fire those cannons right there. Anything else?
That'll do it. I'll see you guys on the post game.
All right. Sounds good right there as we're taking phone calls after phone calls. Open phone line 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Welcome live here to NSPN. I love St. Pete. Getting you ready for Bucs versus the Washington football team. The Bucs coming into this game 6-2, of course. Washington looking for a win. Losers of 4 straight. And really, it kind of went downhill with the injury situation, and namely a Gibson who's not necessarily playing at 100% right now on a fractured shin. So, to me, once again, this Bucs defense, they have not been healthy. You've been missing Levante David. That run defense has taken a little bit of a step back because of that. But once again, Harry, getting a break with Gibson not 100%.
You know what? They are going to be getting a break. I don't know how Washington's going to do it, but they're going to keep this game close, Peter.
Okay.
Honestly. They're going to keep this game close. Because the only reason why I'm saying that is because I think Bruce Arians and company knows that this team doesn't need to come out of the gates trying to sling the ball all over the place. They learned their lesson last year on this because that really hurt them. I honestly feel that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, for the first time in a very, very long time, are going to come out with a very basic vanilla game plan. Because let me tell you something, that's some of the best football you'll ever see. Play defense, run the football to set up the pass. Plain and simple. Blake, you played the game. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
Blake, go ahead and expound on that.
Wait, Gibson?
Yeah.
The running game? I mean, Gibson was hurt the last time they played him. in the playoffs. So it was basically McKenzie that they were relying on.
J.D. McKissick,
yeah. And then Logan Thomas was still banged up. He's a quarterback, still turned tight end. What the things I think that you guys didn't really touch on, I know it's a little off topic, but I just want to get it out because we talk about so much.
Sure.
Rob Gronkowski being out. Now, to me, that is a huge factor. Why that is not the pass catching. Rob Gronkowski was slated with the job to block Chase Young. There's multiple times he was one-on-ones with Chase Young that whole game and basically shut him down. Donovan Smith did a great job, so did Tristan Wirfs and all those guys.
Yep.
I think that him not being in this game makes a huge difference on that edge. Will Donovan Smith be able to handle him the entire game? Will Tristan Wirfs be able to handle him? That guy is top-notch player. The other part is I expect in this game for them to take advantage if they want to lock up the wide receivers on the outside. Is he's progressively gotten more play each and every week, and that's Giovanni Bernard. I expect him to catch more passes this week. I expect them to get more involved in the passing game to take advantage of Washington's linebackers getting matched up with him or weaker defenders up against him, because Giovanni Bernard, as the week's been going on, has been getting more production and scoring touchdowns just about every week.
And really, this defensive line, you're going to be without Montez Sweat, but Chase Young, only 1.5 sacks. That's not your big problem. What's your big problem? He still is a big problem, and he's definitely going to want to make some plays in this game. But Jonathan Allen in that interior
nothing
there.
To sleep on.
Yeah, nothing to sleep on. 6 sacks coming into this game against an Ali Marpet, against a Ryan Jensen, and, of course, Kappa at the right guard situation. So, and then, of course, Daron Payne.
Yeah.
So they have multiple first-round picks here. The problem is that back end, William Jackson III has been a monumental disappointment, and that's where I think you could see Brady really excel, even without a Gronkowski, and a Scotty Miller. Go ahead, Eric.
Yeah, I can actually see that all happening. Exactly what you're talking about. Gronkowski, first off, he is going to be the biggest. He's going to be missed the most on this team this week, in my opinion. Yep. And it's not Antonio Brown. I mean, listen, Antonio Brown's a very, very large loss, but if you had to lose a wide receiver, it's not going to kill you as much. That tight end position is so vital to this team. It's not even funny, especially when it comes to protecting that left side. Because I'll tell you what, a certain left tackle does give up the cheeks once in a while.
Well, there you go. That would be Donovan Smith. You haven't heard a lot from him, and that's a good thing. That's a very good thing. And again, this offensive line coming into it, only giving up 12 sacks. It was a kind of a 2 sacks there that last drive given up by the Saints, but overall pretty clean game. They did cause the fumble. That's what you have to do. That was the emphasis last year. That will be the emphasis this year. Speaking of emphasis, where do you see some of these games today? Who do you like? What's a big-time upset, Harry the Greek?
You know what? That's a great question. I got some upsets. Let me tell you something. I really wish Ben Roethlisberger was playing today.
Wow.
Okay, because I have Detroit not only covering when it was 8.5 and 9 points. Let me explain something to you here real quick. Who's a better football team? Just real quick. Bears or Detroit?
I would say the Bears. I would definitely say the Bears. Yeah.
Would you believe me after I told you that the Bears were a 7.5-point underdog in a game they should have beat Pittsburgh on last week? That everybody knows it, okay? But I'm not going to get there. The line opened up at Pittsburgh -8. So you're telling me that Detroit was only a half point worse than what the Bears are going to be? No, I'm going to tell you what it was. It's because they don't know. They know that Pittsburgh is not as good as what people are thinking that they are. They have such holes in that secondary. You think Tampa's got holes? Buddy, Pittsburgh's healthy, and they got some serious holes in that secondary.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Detroit is going to go off on this team this week. I am not kidding you. Play the points. Don't be afraid to bet them on the money line. Detroit wins their first game. That, my friend, is the deepest pick that I'll have all year if they end up winning the game, other than Atlanta and Denver that I had from last week. This week, my locks, Chargers -3 against Minnesota. That is my favorite game of the week, with the Cleveland Browns on the road. Don't take the points. Play them on the money line. Cleveland beats New England this week. D'Ernest Johnson, he goes off for over 100 yards this week. D'Ernest Johnson, the man, the third stringer, is going to make a name for himself, and he's going to go off for over 100 yards this week. But those are my 2 big games. Notable games: Rams -3 at San Francisco. Don't like it. If you had to pick a side, you play the Rams. Play the over. That's over 49. Philadelphia and Denver. Denver's only 2.5-point favorites, guys. Boy, that's a trap game. Bet the under. Bet the under 45.5. It's going to be 46. New Orleans at Tennessee. Hold on. No Alvin Kamara?
Nope.
Hold on. No quarterback? Oh, the third stringer that beat the Bucs? How about this, guys? Tennessee's only a 2.5-point favorite in this game. I understand. Hold on. I understand they don't have the big train sitting back there running the football.
That's the line still there.
But let's be real. This is a scary line. Tennessee is supposed to absolutely just destroy them. Don't fall for the trap, guys. New Orleans can still play defense. Bet under. The over and under is 44.5. Do not bet Tennessee in this game. Do not bet New Orleans in this game. Bet the under. Neither team's going to go ahead and share any points. Tampa at Washington. Tampa's -9. Total's 51. It's going to be 10 and 10.5. Take Washington in the points. If it drops to 9 or 8, make a small position for Tampa. But my top pick of the week is Cleveland, Chargers, and over 49 on the Rams in San Francisco. There are some other notable games, but those are my 3 top picks. Upset special, Detroit on the money line.
Absolutely.
They win the game outright.
Absolutely.
Wow.
What's your long shot one, Harry? What if you got?
That's the long shot, brother. I don't know how much of a longer shot you need. A winless team. I'm picking a winless team midway through the season to beat a team that's supposed to be going to the playoffs.
Yeah. Hey,
Harry, I got a question for you. For Peter goes in.
What you got?
A free drink on me if you can get the answer to this question right. How many times has the Detroit Lions started? 0-9 now. How many times have they started that in their existence?
4 times.
That is correct, sir.
wow. Look at that. It's right there. All right. Good stuff
Whoop,
there.
it is.
Harry the Greek dancing right there. Dancing professional handicapper, 1252 Sports. Once again, go ahead and promote yourself. We'll get you out of here on that.
Hey, guys, you can find me either on your platform, multiple platforms, but I'll tell you where you can find me every week. It's Friday nights, the over and under, 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central on 1252 Sports on the over under. I am your host, Harry the Greek, along with Peter Blake as my co-host. We'll see you then. And on Sunday mornings, I'm with Jacob Charno on 1252 Sports on his new podcast,
Hard Count Football Podcast.
Thank you very much. My brain wasn't working. You know, that's what happens when I turn double nickel, guys. Hey, you want to do me a favor before I go, Pete?
Sure.
Give me the 3 things that I've always talked about, and I taught you really well.
Bring your passion. Bring your excitement.
Just
don't bring any nonsense.
Are you sure it was nonsense?
It's veggies.
Don't bring any veggies. I'm your host, Peter Blake, giving you something to talk about. Take care, guys. Thank you so much for having me on. We'll see you later, and go Bucs.
All right, go Bucs. There you go. Harry the Greek right there. Let's go out to these comments. Read them. Brady throws for 454 touchdowns.
That means we ain't running the ball.
Certainly possible, right?
I mean, it is. I mean, just we ain't running the ball if that's happening.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, let's go out to Brady, what he had to say once again about the improvements of this Bucs offense live here on NSPN and I Love St. Pete. Here we go.
It was a tough game. You know, they were down but never out, and they made a lot of really clutch plays. A lot of guys really played good football for them. And, you know, it's a really great defensive front. You know, there's some young players, but they've got, you know, it's all like 4th year, 5th year, 6th year. It's a very young defense in that aspect. There's no 12-year guys, and they got some young guys that are really talented players. So, you know, it's going to be a great football environment. You know, we got to go on the road, whether it's going to be colder than we're used to. We got to go play great football and see if we can, you know, come off the bye and start playing better than the way we played.
And you can hear it already. I mean, you can hear it, what he's saying. He's disappointed about the loss to the Saints. They've had, basically a week to stew over it. You know, they got to do a better job when it comes to not only the turnover situation, but also the penalty situation, whether it's 15 yards or whatever else. The pre-snap penalties, you have to do a better job, and it's going to be a tough environment today being on the road at FedEx.
Yeah, definitely. Being on the road in the cold and everything coming up there. But they did it. They went on the road the whole time in the playoffs.
What are you nudging me about here? We're showing Giovanni Bernard here?
Didn't somebody just mention about a game breaker, about him being a game changer in this game?
I mean,
somebody must be listening to me.
Maybe they are.
Somebody might be listening to me.
That's why we got the great Blake Anthony
I swear I just
49
mentioned that.
on NSPN right here because you break it down, but they're showing it right now, what he can do and what type of impact. And J.D. McKissick for the Washington football team is kind of in that same mold.
Yes.
He's been
same
that same
build,
type
same
of player
size,
for them.
Yep.
Right.
But everybody forgets about Gio. Now, I'm not being biased because he's a Tar Heel, because the guy can run.
Not you.
He can
By
run
the way,
ball.
Florida State won yesterday. Tell
That
you
was
what,
a big game.
Hold that thought. Let's go out to this guy right here. Let's go ahead and get him some walk. Here we go.
Yeah! Tampa makes some noise!
All right, Curtis from Newport Richie, welcome to NSPN live here from Ducky Sports Lounge. What do you have to say?
Why are we playing this game?
Why we what?
Why are we playing this game?
Why are you playing this game? Because you have to on the
After
schedule.
last week, you can't say that.
No, you
After
can't.
Last week, you cannot
it's
say
not
that.
for long, my friend. We saw it last week.
We didn't play last week.
No, not the Bucs. I'm talking about the league. After what you saw.
Listen, you know what? Let me tell you something. I understand all of that, but I don't know. I'm on something different today.
You don't seem too motivated.
He didn't get his coffee yet.
You got to get your coffee.
Send him some Hennessy, Peter.
Oh my gosh,
Here's the thing. 2 years ago, as a Bucs fan, you sat on pins and needles. Okay?
Yes.
And I'm just saying, I'm not trying to say that Washington's a bad team. Those guys are professionals. They could kick anybody's behind any day of the week.
Sure they can.
But as a, I hate to say this too. I never wanted to say this.
Let it out.
As a Buccaneer with Brady on the team, we kind of don't lose games that we're supposed to lose a little bit.
Not used to saying that.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. That's the point. That's the point. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I told people 2 weeks ago, it's New Orleans. That defense was good.
Been good. Yep.
It was Halloween. They got all kind of voodoo doctors and witch doctors in the crowd.
Tricks and treats and all that.
Sending all their little voodoo curses and stuff down. And it was an outlandish, weird game.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. Last week was up and down week for the whole NFL. But now it's time to get back to the regular schedule programming. Okay?
Yep.
There's going to be some thrashings this weekend.
Ooh.
And I think we're going to start with Tampa over Washington.
What's going to be the score? What's your prediction there, Mr. Curtis?
Yeah, I want to hear this.
Yeah.
We're going to drop 40 this
Whoa,
week.
40 burger. So what is Washington going to score? 10?
Wow. Fire the cannons to that.
I'm going to tell y'all something. I actually like Tyler. I like that kid.
I do too.
So he goes out there and he plays his ass
off.
He
He balls out.
Yeah.
And it's just like Justin Fields on Monday night when they played Pittsburgh. That kid played his heart. I'm going to say they're going to score at least 17, maybe 20.
That's why I got him at 20.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I got too. I'm not giving away my score prediction, but that's kind of where I'm at this point. And look, I get it. I understand that it's the NFL and not for long, and this Washington team is prideful. But at the end of the day, defensively, yes, 19 sacks. What's going on? How you doing? I'm live. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. James, who is a Raider fan.
No. Correct him. He said he put it down.
Out of here. No,
yeah, right. Exactly.
He said he put it down. He picked up the pirate ship.
Okay.
I don't even know what you just said. Okay, 19 sacks by this Washington football team. They can get after it. So once again, the onus has to be on this offensive line, keeping Brady clean. Of course, you've got to eliminate the turnover situation and that penalty situation.
Oh, God. We didn't get into that.
A couple weeks ago versus the Saints.
100 yards?
Unacceptable. And it's not just 15 yards. It's not just pass interference. It's also before the snap. And that has to be a big-time key today because you're playing in a ruckus crowd. So, for me, the biggest key to the game is to take this crowd out of it the first quarter.
Score quick.
Yep.
We played in a ruckus environment all the playoffs last year.
Well,
no fans made a difference.
No fans. I mean, not a lot of fans. Come on.
Yeah, I understand no fans, but
right.
Man, listen, these guys are still professional.
Yes,
players.
I get that part. Yeah,
correct.
Fans are no fans. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like y'all guys said, anybody can get their ass kicked.
Yep. Last week proved it.
Yep.
Freaking Jaguars and Bills. Ooh.
Yep.
I'm not intrigued on our game. Even if we win by one, I don't care. A win is a win. What I'm intrigued about is the rest of the conference. Because
okay.
I picked Dallas to lose today. and I've also picked Green Bay to lose today.
Wow. Okay.
Because I just seen a stat, and the last 10 games, Seattle versus Green Bay, the home team has always won. Always. So wait, are they in Green Bay? I thought they were in Seattle.
Hold on a sec. Go ahead.
Yeah, definitely. That looks like it's going to be a snow fest out there. That game should be definitely interesting. And since the playoff game where Seattle scored the touchdown in overtime against the Packers, it seems like they've had that rivalry since that game. So I'm definitely looking forward to this game.
Well, my favorite Seattle Green Bay game was, I'm pretty sure it was the Fail Mary.
They were trying to card me. No, they were trying to figure out where we're at right now. Will you shut up and be quiet? We're live on NSPN. I love St. Pete.
No,
here.
No. Peter's not 21. He's like 18 and a half.
There you go.
Card him.
Card him.
I'll take it. I'll take it, guys. I'll go
ahead
and fire that.
They said, "You going to card me?" Sure.
Right, sure. No, that's not what he was trying to do, but it seemed like it. He was trying to figure out where we're at. We're live on NSPN, and of course, I Love St. Pete on Facebook, the Sports Web, live on YouTube. What else? So that's your score prediction at this point?
Like I said, and I need I feel like Tennessee might blow the doors off New Orleans tonight.
All right, it's well possible. After what the Falcons did last week against the Saints, I kind of predicted that game. The funny part is I picked a lot of those upsets last week.
Well, it's crazy, man. That, like I said, everybody's looking at all the other games. The biggest upset last week to me was, it had to definitely be Buffalo and Jackson.
Oh man, Josh Allen, right? Interception, fumble, and a sack. I don't think that'll happen again in the history of the NFL, possibly.
No, probably not.
And right now, what you're watching, I have a fan actually coming up right now. I'm telling them to go like NSPN right there so you can see us live. There you go, my friend. You want to get on camera really quick? What's your name?
Dan Rivera.
Right, the camera's right there. Dan Rivera. Okay, how many times you come out here all the time? Live?
I'm always watching the game, so always watching the Bucs. Got to root for them and root for my Gators, even though they're kind of struggling now. But.
Well, they were very fortunate yesterday to beat Stanford, not Stanford. They played like it was Stanford yesterday. With all that being said, what do you think about this game today versus the Washington football team?
Well, I'm hoping for Brady to come out and throw at least 4 TDs and get our running action. Yeah, they're a weak passing defense Washington have, so statistically – we're out there, but this is a big game for them. Away game is always challenging. They played this tough last time,
right?
So, we always want to come away with a W without injuries.
All right,
and that's the goal.
Give me a score prediction, really quick.
34-14.
34-14. All right. What's your name again, my friend?
Dan Rivero.
Dan Rivero. We'll definitely see you on the post-game show. Maybe halftime. We'll get you up here screaming Tampa Bay. Really quick. Do that really quick. Tampa
Bay.
Tampa
Bay.
Tampa
Bay.
All right, man. Thanks a lot for coming on. That's what you get here live, that fan experience, my friend, here at Ducky Sports Lounge, 1719 West Kennedy Boulevard in Tampa. I'm your host, Peter Blake, along with Blake Anthony. Curtis, let's go ahead and finish up with you. Go ahead, man. Final thoughts.
I wouldn't be surprised to see Fournette go for over 100 easy today, though.
You want to come up too?
I wouldn't see.
Okay.
I wouldn't be.
Yeah, go ahead, Curtis.
I wouldn't be surprised to see Fournette go over 100, maybe even Ronald Jones go.
It would be nice.
It would be nice.
That kind of game.
Again, though, Leonard Fournette. This was his haymaker, if you were. This is where he made his money last year, over 100 yards from scrimmage, and he was really the big time key to this offense. We'll see in the second half if they do the same thing. Good stuff, Curtis. Let me go ahead and give you a woo right there.
Could we see Mike Evans with 3 more touchdowns today?
Well, let me put this out here, too, while you're talking about Mike Evans. Mike Evans scores a touchdown today. He ties Mike Allstott's touchdown record in Tampa Bay.
Amazing. All right. Good stuff, my friend. Thanks a lot for the call. We'll see you on the post-game edition, all right?
All right, guys.
All right, good stuff there. We'll be back, of course, on halftime.
Absolutely. It's almost that time.
Breaking it down here as we're getting you ready. How many more minutes until Washington versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? Your Tampa Bay
11
Buccaneers
minutes.
At 6-2. Trying to extend that losing streak in misery for the Washington football team. With all that being said, not only do they have an Antonio Gibson at the running back situation, but of course, wide receiver Terry McLaurin.
Yep.
Not McLaren. McLaurin.
Not the car.
40. Yes, I was thinking that, but he is as fast
as a car.
as a
He's
McLaren.
a good receiver.
He really
another
is.
Ohio State guy.
43 catches, 4 touchdowns. Is that a matchup where you could see them bracketing coverage and letting the other guys like an Adam Humphries or somebody on that team beat you?
No, you don't need to bracket them like teams do Mike Evans. What I have for this game is what I saw on the tape. I know I don't have a winning angle this week, so I just rather talk about it.
Yeah, what's that all about? Well,
hey,
you
man,
had a week off, and you give me nothing.
Hey, I got
you
a lot of papers.
I got a lot of papers to do. I mean, what's up with that?
You got me.
Shut up!
You got me live. It got me right here. We can talk about it.
It's got you right there too.
Yeah.
What's that all about?
Hey, it's doubling up.
I see that. I see that.
So we'll talk about this. Force inside pressure on Tyler Heinecke. Heinecke. Now I get like you tongue tied now.
You're gonna need a Heinecke.
Yeah, I might.
After this.
Hey,
yes. Hey.
Force inside pressure to him. What he does not like is to be forced to his left non-throwing arm. He tends to bring it down and tends to take his eyes off the receivers. Tampa Bay can get under these wideouts and get some of these hands on these balls and pick it off. I believe they'll get some turnovers of him. Force him left, his left. The defense is right. Force him that way. That means send the blitzes off the other side and force him that way. JPP has got to do a better job in containing, or Joe Tryon on that side and getting some sacks. Vita Vea is going to do what he's been doing all season, is get that interior pressure, because they're really struggling in that guard spot. From what I've watched the past couple games this season of Washington, they're struggling with their interior pressure, which shocks me that they have a Pro Bowler at the guard position that they drafted a few years ago. But they should take advantage of that, force him that side, and don't let those backs beat you out the backfield, leaving them uncovered.
And Jamel Dean, to me, he's been very quiet, but quiet in a good way.
No touchdowns.
41% completion percentage. That's what quarterbacks are completing. So you feel like he's going to match up with the McLaurin. And at the end of the day, you get back Sherman. Again, you're feeling better about that back end, but it comes back to the penalty situation on the defensive side of the ball. Devin White's got to be better. Levante David talked about it this week, and that line has to get after it coming into this game. 17 sacks. Once again, if you force a quarterback such as a Heinecke, who's been known to throw interceptions, if you force him into those pressures, you may be able to get some pick sixes and some big-time plays.
What does pressure do, Peter? Bust pipes, baby.
It does.
Bust
it does.
Pipes.
And it absolutely slows down the timing. It disrupts the timing of the quarterback.
Yeah, absolutely. Peter.
So,
hit that on the head 100%.
Absolutely. Let's go out to the comments here. Jeremiah says, we still have Howard, don't forget, but you signed Darren Fells this week. A veteran, 35-year-old tight end, inline blocker. That's what you're thinking at that point.
I said that earlier. That when I saw him pick him up, I know that's exactly what he's for this week. You're not going to let Chase Young rip your offense apart and force error throws. That's why I said Harry said it as well. Rob Gronkowski being out was the bigger hurt than anywhere else, because he blocked Chase Young dominantly last year in the playoffs.
Yeah, you saw him be an extra left tackle, so you're kind of wondering what Fells can do, of course, and goes back to Howard and Braid. As explosive as they can be on offense, they are terrible blockers, so that's the need to bring those guys in. And then we talked about it, bringing in Brashard Perryman. Really quick, let's go out to Perryman and what he thinks about being back with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers live here on NSPN and I Love St. Pete. Here we go.
Of course, it's different, changing teams, during the season. But, I'm just thankful to be back. Just really just going to focus in on the playbook. And, I'm just happy to be back.
Bruce said if necessary, you could go Sunday. You feel good about being able to be caught up to speed and not to play in 4 days if necessary?
Yeah, I mean, if that's what they want me to do, I'd be good. I just know I got to hit the playbook really hard. And I'm not really too much worried about it, whichever way it goes.
All right, and they are both active, according to Greg Allman of the Athletic. Fells and Perryman. Of course, Antonio Brown out of this game. Rob Gronkowski out of this game. How concerned are you? Because you look at it, you're coming out of the bye week, you're thinking you're going to get more healthy, and you're not. How concerned are you about the long-term situation, about a Gronkowski and, of course, a Brown with both of their injuries?
I'd rather everybody get those injuries out now and come into the back half of the season ready to rock and roll. They came out so far unscathed, not too bad, 2 losses so far, and then you got a couple of gimme games. Well, I'm never going to say gimme games.
Right. There's no gimme game. I mean, honestly, as much as you would feel about this matchup, at the end of the day, you still have to go out
Gotta
there
play.
and play.
Gotta-
And Brady even talked about it. He's not going to just roll his helmet out there. You're not just going to fake the funk. You got to go out there and play.
Execute.
Yes,
Gotta
you got to play
execute.
your best football
And-
because you're going to get the best. You're going to get the best effort from this Washington football team.
Absolutely. So I should word that and just say you should come out there and handle business as you should as anybody else. As if you were playing the Chiefs or the Bills, which
Right.
you'll play one of them later on in the season, the Bills. But yeah, come out in this game, focus. Do not turn the ball over. Do not create these atrocious penalties that killed you 2 weeks ago against New Orleans.
Yeah.
And the penalties weren't just the issue; was the ill-advised timing of them. Was
Critical
it was
situations.
the
William
timing.
Golston, to me, it should have been offsetting, but that takes away an interception. You get a stop by a defender, and Devin White, he wants to talk stuff against Mark Ingram because it's LSU versus Alabama.
Yep.
Ill-advised. Killers. We saw it this week. The NFL is not playing games. If you're going to taunt, you're going to get called for 15 yards, and it's going to be a killer.
We're looking at you, Marsh.
Yep. Well, to me, that wasn't. I mean, I
And he
get
got
it. He's
fined.
looking at the bench.
And he got fined.
But really, I mean, come on. Come on, NFL.
man. You
Come
need that
on,
one on
man.
there. Come on,
man. All right, let's go out to the comments, and then we'll wrap it up. Bucks 41-10 says Corey.
I don't think they're
Corey
that bad.
again, Washington Hornets future name. I don't know about that. Washington's going to pound Brady to the dirt today, says Dylan. I don't know about that. Dylan is, I think he's laughing. Corey says Chase Young is trash.
I don't know about that.
He's not trash, but he hasn't been as good as he was last
Well,
year. Sophomore slump, but also
It's a team
Right.
thing. It's not just him.
Correct.
He's doing what he's doing. Everybody else got to produce. One guy can't do everything.
exactly, and also they know who you are now.
Yeah.
They didn't know who you were, young
You don't
man.
know.
Right? They know, and we know that you can't sing. So let's go
Hey.
ahead. Hey! All right, so let's go out to Mike DeRoche, longtime friend. No Gronk, no AB, no worries. Bucks win, yawn. I mean, that's where you get with these fans saying, and I'll give them a woo on that.
Woo! Nothing wrong with being
But
confident.
I don't necessarily.
Buying the
I
hype.
think it will be somewhat of a tough
They're
game
gonna come
early.
out fighting.
Of course they are.
Come out
So
fighting.
give me your score prediction because we got to wrap this up. I wanted to get on earlier, but sometimes it just happens that way. We gave you an hour pregame show
hard
live
hour.
here on NSPN, and of course, I love St. Pete. So, biggest key to the game and your score prediction.
Giovanni Bernard comes out and performs both receiving and running the ball. Les Leonard Fournette does the same thing, which he's done great so far this season thus far, catching and running. Like I said earlier, force him to go left-hand side, clean up the penalties. But I got Bucs 35-14.
Wow, you've been reading my notes here. I'll go out to Mike really quick. He says 28-10.
That's a good pick.
We'll be back at halftime. My score prediction, of course, as always, I think Brady definitely throws as many touchdowns as he can versus this defense that, 4 out of Washington's 8 opponents have scored 30 points or more. Book it today. Tampa Bay wins 35-17. We'll be back here live at halftime, live here at Ducky's Sports Lounge, 1719 West Kennedy Boulevard in Tampa. For the great Blake Anthony of Sports Talk 49, I'm your host, Peter Blake. Enjoy the game.
Under pressure, makes one guy miss. Now he cocks the arm and throws the deep ball downfield, and it is knocked away, almost picked on. Fourth down, a desperation heave by Heinecke. And for the first time since our Super Bowl run in 2002, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers will win a postseason game. It had been 13 years since we played in the postseason. It had been 18 years since we won a playoff game. 31-23 is your final.
I wanted to play you. I got you.
Bucs go to work now. Second down and goal. Hand the ball off, and Fournette is stutter step. Touchdown, Tampa Bay. From the Washington 47, Brady dropping, throwing. Caught ball. Chris Godwin. Touchdown, Tampa Bay. Perfect throw from Brady, and Godwin beat the defender. Third down 3. They need to reach reach the Washington 33. Dropping deep, Brady throws the ball to the right side. Open, Antonio Brown, 3-2-1, touchdown, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Brady finds AB at the 5, and Antonio Brown takes it in to the paint of the end zone.
Man, it's not working. We're not together, man. We're not working. We're not together. Come on, man. He's running that. Contain him. Quarterback. He's got one. No. Contain the quarterback. Let's go, man. Let's go.
Washington dropping to throw pressure. Ball tipped to the line. Oh, it's picked off. Intercepted at the 42-yard line by Sean Murphy Bunting.